Gary Gensler is at it again, shutting Solana down. Well, shutting the hopes of a Solana ETF in the USA down. What does that mean for Sol? Do we need Daddy BlackRock to come in, put in an application, and save us from Gary Gensler? We'll have that conversation. Also, some potential bullish signals flashing on Bitcoin. Got to 61K yesterday, back down to under 59,000, but one analytics firm is showing us and telling us that, hey guys, this is all par for the course and we're ready for that big move to the upside. No one talking about it for a while, but it could potentially be over the next few short weeks. We're also going to take a look at where are the large wallets buying and where are they selling to help you potentially front run those big moves. We're going to take a look at the markets, and we got Magic Internet Money joining us to break down some of the charts on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If you're new here, joining us for the first time, welcome to the club. We take old, boring, stale information and repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way. You know what? We've chopped sideways, but our studio, our viewership is growing and our community is growing as well.
You can say it's chopped up.
Chopped up ways.
Kind of like the ziggle zag.
Rocco, bring the camera back to me,
Are we
please.
gonna, if we do move forward with this almanac, are we gonna put some of my phrases and my patent? No?
Not at all. Zero chance.
No finger tornado in the almanac.
Yeah, we should do a tutorial of how to do the tornado.
Good.
And what 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger mean, what a fist tornado means. I haven't done a fist tornado yet. That might be coming. Let's start with Solana ETF for you. SEC talks with ETF issuers over concerns.
Why? What in the dad jokes is going on today?
What? Solana ETFs.
Can we restart the show?
Run the intro.
Let's start it again.
SEC talks with ETF issuers over concerns of Solana being a security preceded the CBOE removing their 19B4s that were filed by some of the ETF issuers for a Solana spot ETF. Now, a lot of people have been saying, I think ourselves included, that this is the next logical step, right? After we got Ethereum approved, what's next? The logical one would have been Solana. And while the SEC seemingly has put the brakes on that, the SEC expressed concerns over Solana's status as a security in talks with prospective ETF issuers ahead of the CBOE removing the related 19B forms on their website. Following the discussion, the SEC rejected these forms, according to a different source. As a result, they were removed from the exchange's website and not filed to the Federal Register, which would have started the clock on the approval process. Let's get one thing straight here, Robert. If BlackRock had an application in, we wouldn't be sharing this headline, would we? Do we need BlackRock to file to get a damn ETF out of anything other than Bitcoin and Ethereum?
You know, they've come out, not publicly, but behind closed doors, have come out and said that there's no demand for the product. And I think that's just from...
Have they not seen the degens that are trading the coins on Solana? What are they talking about?
I agree with you. I think they'll... Here's the thing. BlackRock will come around. And where there's money to be made, BlackRock will throw its hat into the ring. At least that's my assumption. Now, with that said, BlackRock is doing okay without Solana ETF, right? So will they... Do they need it? No. Are the crypto products that they have right now and they're focusing on sufficient for them dipping their toe into the crypto waters? Absolutely. I think that's probably where it's at. Hey, we've already taken on Bitcoin, Ethereum. We have the tokenization of real world assets. Maybe they're just not ready for Solana. I think it's probably better suited for the analysis of their position. And I don't think that they're writing off Solana simply because, like, hey, we don't like it. I just think they're like, hey, you know what? We got our hands full. Let's get those products up and going.
They
And
got their hands full, but their bank accounts aren't full.
yeah.
They'd be more full if they had a Solana.
And then here you do got one of the headlines of BlackRock slam Solana ETF rumors cites no demand. And so when it goes to, and I think the demand comes from institutions, right? Because we know that, a lot of companies that want exposure to crypto realistically want it through Bitcoin and also Ethereum. Now, we know that there's a ton of venture capital money, but is venture capital somebody that BlackRock wants to work with? I think they want to work more with companies and in that direction, and then onboarding their own client base. And so, do they feel confident enough with Solana to recommend it to their own client base and have it as a service? They have had some downtime last bull market. Have those been fixed? Will Fire Dancer solve all of the downtime issues that they've had? Perhaps. That's yet to be seen. We assume so if it has a successful rollout, but we know that nothing's guaranteed in crypto, especially when it comes to a hard fork. So, I don't know. Do you think that the Solana ETF is dead in the water for this coming application? And I know they removed the.
Well, Van Eck still said they have theirs.
Yeah,
I think it's going to get denied.
Now, this isn't until 2025. So where I'm assuming is that if Gary Gensler is still the head of the SEC, come deadline, the final deadline, it gets denied.
Which, by the way, in my conversation with Charles Hoskinson from Cardano, he brought that up. He said the president cannot fire the SEC chair. And his length of contract, or like his time, he has until 2026. So unless he resigns or gets essentially impeached,
yeah,
he can be there under a new administration until 2026.
Yeah, but the reality of it is, if the president wants to remove him, you kind of get his.
I'm not an expert in that field, so I don't know the.
I think that they can turn up the pressure, and to what Charles said is that
hey, we'll move you to the Treasury.
He can influence a resignation, right? And I think that's standard protocol. And I think that if
Trump got in office, he would just clown on Gary until he's just like, all right, fine, I'll quit.
Maybe
he looks like a lizard man.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, but here's the thing: after he gets in office, is it going to be that important? Because he has a target on crypto, but is corporate America and publicly traded companies do they share the same disdain for Gary Gensler that the crypto industry does? I don't really know. I'm not really plugged into corporate America and publicly traded companies in the way that I am with crypto. So I know that the sentiment in crypto is he's evil. He's the number one enemy of crypto, and so. Is that shared across all financial markets? I'm not sure. And so if he gets in office, maybe he tries to remove him, and maybe he doesn't try that hard, right? Maybe he just references, hey, we want to get Gary Gensler out, and nothing happens, right? Maybe he puts it squarely on Congress's shoulders and encourages an impeachment, but that never comes. Maybe that's something that we see. Or I don't know. Maybe he just, like, as you said, starts clowning on the dude, starts dunking on him, and and just saying that like he's the worst person ever, and maybe Gary just doesn't want to be in the crosshairs and will retire. I mean, I don't know, but back to the point: if Gary Gensler is still in the same position that he's in, come final deadline for a Solana ETF, it gets denied 100%. And so for me, I think that it's going to be. Is he there? Is he not there? If he's not there, I think that the shakeup. I think the next chair will be pro crypto.
Can't be any worse, right?
Yeah.
It cannot be worse. Even if someone comes in and they're kind of like, I'm not sure. I find it hard to believe they'll be worse than what Mr. Gensler has been. I do want to share a little update on some Cardano news. So it is official. In just a few days, Hydra Doom has officially done more transactions than the entire history of Cardano. These transactions were literally zero cost thanks to Hydra. Things are getting real. As you can see here, the different transactions, the global TPS, 22.1 billion total ADA.
Guys, for my ADA community, if you have been kind of asking yourself, what is this whole Doom game about? What makes it unique? What makes it stand out? We're doing a comprehensive video breakdown on Doom, on Hydra, on everything that this means for the ecosystem and broader crypto space, because this is a copycat industry, right? And I would not be surprised to start seeing other games launched on other chains because Cardano did it first. Now, we're going to give you a full breakdown on how this works. And also, that I'm a video game savant at heart. So, your boy got, on the leaderboards for Call of Duty. How you doing?
Robin.
S-A, leave it there. So.
Vant.
Yeah, Vant. So, if you want to see some gameplay, I got it downloaded on my computer, going through the whole process there.
Are we going to go down to the summit and do the death match for 100K?
No. You know what? The thing is when you play like a first-person shooter like that, something.
If you're scared, just say it.
I just don't have enough time in the game.
Oh.
If I had enough experience,
I literally have played
would.
it twice. So, yeah, what's your excuse?
And by the way, Savant spelled S-A-V-A-N-T.
Wow.
Savant.
I wonder how you got that information. Interesting. Also on Cardano, before we bring Magic on, so the Daedalus wallet, the 6.00 upgrade for mainnet is out. The mainnet release required to cross the upcoming Chang hard fork and operate in the Conway era. It is mandatory for all Daedalus users to upgrade to this version. So if you have the Daedalus wallet, which I know Robin has used. I personally haven't used a Daedalus wallet, but I've used Lace, I've used Nami.
A long way.
Yeah.
When it first came out, the version 1.0, version 2.0, it would take when you logged in, it would sometimes take up to 20 minutes for your wallet to load, and I guess sync up or validate, whatever it is. It took like 20 minutes for that thing to get going, and that was how you did your native on-chain staking. Now this is done in seconds. So just comparable to any other kind of browser wallet that you would use. Daedalus wallet, it's fast now. So that thing is put to bed. And it's a great platform for staking. And so if you haven't staked Cardano through this native wallet, I'd recommend at least giving it a shot, just kind of playing around with it, because it's
I have all my Cardano staked through my Trezor.
Go try it out. Move a little bit over. You only get.
I think I have like 4 Cardano wallets.
It's only like 2 epochs that you miss out on rewards, so you're not going to be missing out too much. So if you just take a little bit, you want to just play around with it,
or I'll just buy some new.
There you go, my dude.
That's a good idea.
And then guys, if you're interested in playing Doom, or seeing what that's about, put a 1 in the chat. If you're bullish on the Doom game that's running natively on Cardano through Hydra, put a 1 in the chat. If you're don't give a damn and don't care, put a 2 in the chat.
You don't give a doom.
You don't give a doom, put a 2 in the chat. But put a 1 in the chat if you're pretty bullish on this Doom thing. We want to get a little bit of.
Rocco just hates me. Whatever. Nothing. That was a good.
Don't give a doom.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
It was pretty bad.
1 in the chat for my bullish Cardano Doom fans. 2, you don't give a damn.
We have Magic and Money joining us. He joins us every single Tuesday. We are happy to have him back on because, well, it's Tuesday. Magic, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you guys?
We're excellent, man. We're happy to have you, Magic. It's been an amazing week. Last week was amazing. This week is amazing. We're excited, man. I know prices are a little beep, 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 boop, boop, a little ziggle, zaggle, swiggle, swaggle, but it's okay. We're still here. We're making content. And we got you joining us, Magic. Couple things I want to share, and then we'll jump into the charts.
Sure.
So, Bitcoin seesaws between $59,000 and $60,000, but consolidation could be over soon. This is according to research firm Crypto Quant, suggesting that Bitcoin is nearing the final phase of its market consolidation, with increased demand signaling a potentially bullish outlook. According to Crypto Quant, after Bitcoin reached the 57K mark, there was a noticeable increase in the average daily token transfer volume from 650,000 to 765,000. Then we have this from Plan B. Bitcoin 60K up 4x from the bottom, just like before the pump in 2017 and 2020, as seen by this Plan B chart here. And you can see here the different colors months after having. You can see this black trend line. We came back, had a 4x, right? Then we entered into this this longer time period post halving, and then we had the massive run up. That was in 2017. Then in 2020, same thing. 4x, big run up. Where are we at now? We're at the 4x. Still no big run up, but this is, potentially saying that, hey, we're going to get a big run up here soon. And then I also wanted to share this magic. This is whale orders and large trades. So you have the little green and red circles. Those represents large trades, obviously green being buys and red being sells. And then as far as your whale trades, you see those show up as colored in red or green lines on the bottom. So these are levels that whales are buying, right? The levels that they were buying was 57.9, which is, hey, where we kind of got our bounce. Where are they selling? They're selling a crap load between 60 and 61.5. So it kind of gives us an idea of what the larger accounts, the whales, are doing. Magic, what are your thoughts on the price action we've seen for the last week? You were here on Tuesday. Are we at the point where the market kind of bores everyone to death and then it just rips?
That's when you get the breakouts. When everyone gets falls asleep at the wheel, that's when you go off road.
That's when you crash into a tree and wake up. Yeah, I'm not trying to make light of stuff. But anyways,
I'm always off. I'm always at sleep at the wheel. Just so everybody. No, I'm kidding. In terms of price, yeah, it is boring. But you make a really good point because if you went back to even our breakout at the current low from like 15K, and I know I'm not showing my screen, but I think everybody knows it went sideways in a very boring range from like Saturday, December 17th, all the way through a full 30 days of almost no real price action. I think the highs and lows of that range were you have a high of 17,000 and you had a low that came in around 16,356. So a $700 price range. If you go back further and you go to like 2020, you could say the same thing happened just below 10K when we went sideways from June 20th all the way until July 26th. So again, another month. And that price action looked more so of like $9,400 down to as low as $8,900. So not a whole lot of, it's a 5% range at that point for a month. It bored everyone out before the breakout, really kind of maximizing, we'll call it pain, because this market really does thrive on hype and emotion, it seems like sometimes. Could we see something similar? Yeah, we certainly could. I think it would be really good for Bitcoin to go sideways in that regard. I'm going to share the screen because time-wise, you guys are in an interesting spot. So if you guys recall, we were looking for timing on this to come in for the breakdown here right at the end of July, which we got pretty well if we just go off of the local price action, which is something like this. This has been our range timed out thus far. I use the sign line to do this to kind of give us an idea of when the highs and lows will be coming in. And sometimes you find it also does respect the line, which is very interesting. You could apply a Fibonacci expansion of this to see, exactly where those points are. And typically what you want to know is where like the 50% mark is. Some people prefer things like the 618. I find the 50% mark. That's why this was kind of a big area for me. That's a local time frame though. So we got the move down out of that. Bears have really failed to push this lower and you are still consolidating. So you kind of have to start giving the nod to the bulls the longer this goes without a formal breakdown. You can see I've got a couple blue boxes on this chart just to kind of, preface it. These are all based on pivots. We did a build last night. And so I left the ones on for the pivots because they're the easiest for people to grasp. So this is a 2-week pivot and a 6-month pivot that comprise the levels that we're at now. And it would probably be a very important level to hang on to, because if you start living below this, you're probably making a trip down to the previous month and quarterly low. And then it starts to look not so great. If you can get above the monthly pivot just above us and the 60-day and the quarterly that comprise this box up here, things look really good for that break to happen. So you may spend some time going sideways here and boring people out of the market, so to speak, where nothing really new is happening. And that would probably be the bullish case for Bitcoin in that scenario. And back to time, if you go to your cycle timing, we were looking for this top to come in somewhere in this region, which we got pretty close. Now you've had your pivot here. You had a local pivot here. Your next macro pivot, though, that is true cycle time, not just the reversal pattern that played out, comes in September. So, if it went sideways for another 3 weeks, and I've told you guys when we made this move down, I want about 30 to 45 days before I make up my mind. That would make me somewhat ambitious that if it fails to break down and starts moving higher, we could probably see something very similar to the last cycle.
Do you think that $80,000 Bitcoin is something that's in the cards? And if you were to forecast, hey, you know what, Bitcoin's gonna get to 80,000, what would the chart look like? And I know that's a big hypothetical there, but for people that are kind of,
a great number.
Yeah, for people that are kind of like holding on to this, hey, we're looking at the Plan B chart. We expect per the cycles of past and where we're lining up with it now to be kind of in that range. And when will we get there? What are some things that you're looking for that signal a big breakout that could carry Bitcoin past previous all-time highs and into a range like 80,000 and above? And I know you had that. You were saying that the next 3 weeks to get above that blue box there that signified, what was it, like 60,000?
It's about 64 is where you want to be living above. And that's just a number derived from like a 6-month chart. It does come in nicely, though, at the quarterly and 60-day and monthly pivots. So this is your prior all-time high. This is your 6-month candle, and that would be the closure you really want to start living above. But what you can see from a 6-month chart is, we're looking at this in terms of trend, and we'll get into 80,000 in a second. Getting above this level would look quite good. You've come up, you've tested it. You really did have a little bit of a sell-off. However, it was bought back up. Candle turns green, and that's really how you get continuation a lot of times, much like right here. We don't see this part of this candle, but there was drawdown before the move up. So, when you're looking at something with really high time frame, biases, you have to kind of be patient. And it stinks because even when I come on once a week, it's like, man, you guys might have to be waiting a few weeks for this. But definitely zoom out, just like when is the biggest level that you could lose in this bull market. Well, I mean, we're on a 6-month chart, and we could just say, without even going out a little further, that if you were to break below this, it doesn't look good, right? It's a very simple way to view the market. Now, in terms of time, we need to see this level here reclaimed at 64K. And if we're doing that, I start to look at this a little bit more favorably above this area at 64. And then timing starts to say, okay, what does that look like in trend-based time, but also trend-based projection? So how do we get a trend-based projection? 81K is actually a really big number for me. I think it's a really nice area to look for. And the reason is you have what I call a true cycle here. And what you're trying to do is hold your gold pocket on a trend. And you can see that I'll turn on where these are derived from right here. So this is essentially just a fib tool. It's a trend-based Fibonacci extension. It is no different than doing a Fibonacci extension normally, except now we are controlling where we project this expansion off of. So before it would have just been from the 3K low to the top, and that's how we get our 100% expansion, et cetera. But this time what we've done is we've moved it over. So you can see that it actually coincides with this new low. So we have our new macro low. And now I want to know, if I'm comparing prior expansion cycles and using Fibonacci to do so, how do I make that into a trend? And that's why it has the name trend. And you can do it for both upside and downside. And what you'll find a lot of times is that when you're holding the gold pocket, this is generally a good thing. You want to see it consolidate right here on the gold pocket and make that push to the 100% projection, which comes in at 81,000. The same thing could be said if we went off of without using the prior cycle low. We could say, well, this was our reversal pattern, or at least the one that I consider the reversal pattern, which is a harmonic. Even with timing, right? Timing's good. We could do the exact same thing with the cipher. And you can see here, again, very similar, not quite as high in terms of the 1-to-1, but they're pretty close. So everything is kind of saying, as long as we're hanging on to this gold pocket, things are good. If we can live above this and continue to go sideways, you can make that challenge into the 1-to-1. One thing I'll note on the weekly is I don't talk a lot about the RSI with you guys, but I do watch it on the high time frames. You are at support. So if you don't have 46, the number 46 on your RSI, I would put it there. It's a really good number. It's a little trick that I picked up from Eric Crown, his channel. And he was putting this content out in like 2018, 2019, I believe, when this was like a thing. But I've used it ever since. It's great. And you can see that you are coming into that nice bounce zone at the 46 level. I use this as low as the 5 minute. I mean, it works fantastic. I don't know why it's better than 50. It just is.
Magic. And then the last time this did get to that support level, what did price action do?
This support here?
Oh, no, for the RSI.
Well, you bounced from 53 all the way up to 70.
Oh, wow. And we're there now.
That's what this is right here. Yeah. And you basically, you rejected off your exponential, which is just a moving average, that you're working off of here. So I think
so are you saying we're going to see a $10,000 candle? Is that what you're saying?
You very well could. If you can get back above 64K, which that's a big level for me. You get above 64K and it really does change the dynamics of this structure quite a bit. And the bulls have ample, leverage at that point. So for now, this is support. And as long as it's support, that's a good thing. But the moment we start losing this, trend-based gold pocket, it becomes an issue. And it doesn't just become an issue from like a fib standpoint. It becomes an issue from a structure standpoint and even from an overall averages when you're taking into account like things like a 6-month, 30-day, quarterly. Then you start really looking for these lower numbers and you start to question if maybe the bull market ended sooner rather than later, right? That's how you have to view it. So for me, I'll tell you guys, like I tell everyone always says, how are you trading this? I'm not doing a ton of trading up here. Main reason being is a little bit of, with everything going on with the landscape of exchanges and laws, for me, I've felt that coming into these highs, having gotten long in the 16.6 region, applying leverage to that position even, and holding a good amount of it, both the 30 and then 40 and then up to here, I've taken off that leverage, but removed a lot of the assets from exchanges because I just don't know what I want to. I don't know if I want my assets exposed to that risk. So I'm not saying take your money off exchange. It's just how I'm playing it. So I haven't sold Bitcoin. I have no hedge short. I haven't seen anything to make me take a head short outside of a gut feeling that this was the level that I had marked and had really put a lot of emphasis on along with time. So yeah, I mean, just, remain neutral. But you can even see here that if you were to apply a linear regression to this cycle, you can see that this is just forming at the low here. It's very well respected at the EQ, and we've almost hit the high of it, which is generally where you want to be taking profits. You've come back to the median of it. And this is a decision zone, as you can see. Like typically it can be a very good buy zone, but the moment that goes, the market kind of goes with it. So
now, Magic, it's been 2 weeks, right? Last time I asked you this question, you were at 50-50. And you know what question I'm going to ask you? Would you like to update your odds on whether the top is already in for this bull market?
I'm going to say I would go 60-40 top is not in. I'll give them an extra 10%. I think that they have the ball. I think that there is a legitimate chance that if this can get a little traction here, barring any like global events that would prevent people from wanting to be risk on, that you could see a new all-time high. I don't know that it's going to continue to like 100, 120K, but I think that you could realistically see that $80,000 number. And that's the very first target for me above where we are is 80,800 and 81,000.
So now, Magic, let me, and maybe you want to do chart aside. Yeah. So if we do get to that 80K that you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you putting in a short position there, or are you waiting to see if this is going to have any follow through? Like, what's your strategy when we start getting into new all-time highs? And instead of going to like 76 and drawing down, we go, let's just say we go 64 to 69 to 74 and then 78 and then 81.5 or whatever. What is your strategy? Do you have something in place now, or are you just going to wait and see if there's any follow through and kind of what the traders are doing?
In place now, not necessarily. Mainly what I would be looking for is the reaction out of the area. I'd want to see like what's going on. Like when we made our 69K top, it's essentially a giant swing fail pattern, which is essentially a short trigger from the 64K top. So it would be difficult to really say that I have to wait for us to lose $74,000 to be bearish. But in reality, you could see something like that. Now, given the size of this consolidation, I wouldn't just put a short position in up there. You know,
Okay.
I think that you could really do some damage to your portfolio just blindly trying to short that thing. If I recall, the 1-to-1 on Bitcoin going into the 20K highs was actually just above the consolidation that we made here. And it was like 21 or 22,000, and price just ripped right through it, you know, like no questions asked. So it was one of those things where you can't just fall in love with that area to fall in love with it, especially with the context of this type of consolidation, where if you spend this amount of time consolidating, the odds of you coming up here and just stopping aren't very good. I would really err on the side of that's going to get follow through. You know, I mean, that's the only way I would really put it. Do I know that's going to happen? No, I don't.
like
I would just play it by ear.
If we got to that 80K range, I don't know. I think that we might see what we saw last bull market cycle, where everyone's talking about how great Bitcoin is. It's now surpassed some other companies. You know how they always say, like, oh, now it has a market cap. Yeah, the market cap is bigger than Microsoft. Whatever the narrative is. And then Michael Saylor is going to come out. We bought more. El Salvador is coming in, tooting their own horn. And so, I don't know. I feel like when you get in these really bullish momentums, the bullish narrative and news that help propel it even further just keeps piling on one another, right? And so it's almost like the media feeds on itself in a positive feedback loop. And so, to your point, especially going into this bull market, I would be very hesitant to short is if we get to new all-time highs and we start getting into that price discovery. Just from my own personal experiences, and a lot of times you look at price moving, you're just like, man, you know what? Maybe I should sell. This is going to pull back, and so, proceed with caution because the bull market is coming, man.
You make a good point about Michael Saylor. Maybe that should be my strategy, that he is the top signal, because like he really does manage to have just a gift for getting so boisterous and loud right at the top. He's like the giga top guy. It makes you wonder, is he selling? You know, he says he's not, but
we know MicroStrategy's not selling. Like, that's for sure. But he does have a very substantial position himself. Now, I would be surprised to see Saylor selling.
What
his
if
own
he
Bitcoin,
uses the company money to pump Bitcoin and then sells it with his?
I think that's what the kind of the conversation we're having. But
I think that's illegal.
Yeah, that is illegal, actually.
Yeah.
What's not illegal is for you to join the Crypto Hub on Discord. If you like Magic Internet Money, we do have that link pinned to the top of the chat. Magic joins us every single Tuesday. We love bringing him on because, one, he's a great guy, but also he can give objective overview and insight into what the markets are doing. Magic, thank you for joining us, my friend, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, bro.
Before you do what you're gonna, I know what you can do. If you're watching, and you're going through some emotional pain because Bitcoin's price is chopped sideways, well, let me introduce you to the emotional support French fries. It worked for this guy's girlfriend. She loves them. So we don't have an affiliate link to this, but if this is something that, you might need an emotional support, people usually do dogs. I've seen emotional support lizards, cats.
Why do I feel like you're the guy that has like all the French fries stuck in between the center console and the seat, and that the vacuum can't get in there to get it?
Your mouth.
Also, the detail company is just like, how did he get a French fry there? It's inside the air.
Guys, please do not say "damn" when you hear the price and you're checking out at the gas station. Okay, we already know prices are high. With that being said,
I do want to give a little love to the chat. We got a lot of new faces here. We'd like to give you a little shout out. So if you are new, say hello in the chat. We'll give you a little personal welcome. Some new people we've seen. We got Peter, Alan, Joseph. We got Androgynous. I know I said that wrong.
Androgynous.
Yeah, I messed that one up. Jens B, Radu, Dan A, Gavian, Elite, Show Me. We got Michael K. Hello, Jaja. ICP Pioneer, Crypto Stitz, Jose, Mike C, Garay A, William O, Crypto Tucker. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Androgina and Gavian.
Androgynous.
Interesting. If anyone's got an extra dictionary,
I love androgynous.
I want to see the almanac with all the misspelling.
Oh yeah, the crypto almanac. Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be great.
The words misspell everything.
You know, one thing that people look at when they say, "Hey, what's the blockchain that's really pumping right now?" And like the metrics, right? I talked about this with Kyle from Definity, from ICP, and he said, key metrics like TVL, transactions, those can be fudged with, right? But what you can't really fudge with is network fees and percentage rise in network fees. Well, take a look at this. This is from Token Terminal. Look at Tron's network fees, Robin. This is over the last 7 days. It is 3x the next highest, which is Lido. Then you have Ethereum, Uniswap, Jido, Solana, Flashbots, Aave, MakerDAO, so on and so forth. And yeah. We know Justin Sun has been absolutely marketing the hell out of his pumped up fun knockoff Sun Pump Fun, I think.
And he's also been on Twitter and other platforms.
He's just
talking about
meme coins now.
No, but he's also come out and has been saying that China is reversing their ban on crypto. All speculation from what it seems like. Now, the man is a CEO and very plugged into finance and regulation in Asia. I don't know how far his ties go into China. So
he was
maybe
a Jack Ma protege.
So perhaps there's something to it, and I would not be surprised to see China flip on their crypto stance as far as regulation and the ban that they have on mining, and particularly crypto and Bitcoin. We know that there is a tool that the U.S. uses called sanctions that prevent countries, particularly Iran, also Russia, from trading in dollars with China.
Or anyone that pisses off the U.S.
Yeah, or anyone that pisses off the U.S. So ask yourself, what's a currency that everyone can use, that you can use as barter for trade? And, crypto obviously fits the bill. And so it's not a question of if, but when will China get back to embracing crypto, or at least allowing it?
You think they'll get there? You think they'll get there by choice, or because Russia just approved crypto trade and they're looking like, okay, well,
it's not that it's by choice. Like, look at Walmart, for example. They had a perfectly fine business model. They had the largest walk-in retail here in the United States. Every state had one, or I don't know if every state, but majority of states had a Walmart. And so did they need, from a financial perspective, to embrace internet shopping?
Absolutely.
No, here's the thing. But that's the same discussion I think, when I look at China. Do they need to embrace crypto? Like, no, their economy will work. They're not going to go under.
I'll tell you something. If Walmart did not embrace online shopping, Amazon would have been 2-3x the company size.
But here's the thing: Walmart would still be around, but they would just keep losing dominance, right? And so it just goes. It goes to a market dynamics, right? It goes to a market dynamics to say, what do the customers want? What do consumers want? How do they want to shop? There is a large percentage of retailers out there, a large percentage of consumers out there that don't want to get in their car and go to the store. They just want to order and have it delivered to their house. Now, at the same time, that doesn't represent the entire piece of the pie. And so would Walmart still be around without online retail? Absolutely. Would they be as successful as they are? Absolutely not. And so I look at that in the same way when discussing a nation state and having different options, especially if you are an enemy of the United States and everything goes through the US dollar. Now, can you operate and sustain yourself just using the status quo and the fiat currency that we have in the SWIFT system and having everything priced in dollars, particularly oil and commodities? Sure. Is it a smart idea? No, it's not. And even though we're here in the United States, I would say, hey, man, you know what? The U.S. has weaponized the dollar. They say, hey, everybody needs to trade with the dollar except for this country and this country. Like, it's asinine to think that people won't try to find alternatives. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And so it's only a matter of time before China gets back on board. Second largest economy. You can look at some fudged up numbers. You can say they're maybe even number one economy above the U.S. I don't subscribe to that idea, but either way, they're pretty damn close. You onboard China, and they go all in on crypto in the same way that current presidential candidates are saying that we're going to go all in on Bitcoin. If we have an arms race for crypto, anybody that's holding right now, your portfolio is going to get stacked. Absolutely stacked. I mean, do you agree? If China comes out, reverses their stance on crypto, says they're going to trade commodities in a cryptocurrency, allow the residents to buy and hold crypto, and all of a sudden you see crypto exchanges having massive volume in China, and you also couple that with the U.S. having a strategic Bitcoin reserve, not selling what they have, compiling onto their current holdings, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath for the small amount of circulating Bitcoin on the exchanges. And what we know, one thing will come out: price shock. And then I think that lines up perfectly with the Bitcoin halving cycle, where we're going to be at. I mean, post-election. I think this is your last opportunity to get a position on crypto at the prices that it's at now. I'm not trying to over here and be moon boy pump bad guy, but I'm just being realistic with you. We're in a bull cycle. We're post-halving. We know where the price is going to go. You're only going to be able to pick this up on discount for some period of time, unless you want to wait till 2026 and wait for a potential bear market to follow.
You know what's interesting in China? So China's going through something called deflation, right? Where people just stop spending money, which is the worst thing that governments want, is deflation, right? There's a difference between deflation and disinflation. Disinflation, prices come down. Deflation, prices tank because no one's spending money because they believe that the price.
But that comes in cycles, and at some point, the government's going to trigger their residents to spend money.
You're making my point. So this is from a year ago. China's record $2.6 trillion rise in savings fuels revenge spending. So the Chinese citizens have just been hoarding money. They're not spending it. And so what happens when, let's say, they do try to spur the economy, and now crypto is available as a medium to invest, to trade, to make money on? I'm not going to sit here and put an arbitrary number on it and say 10% can go to crypto, 20% can go to crypto. But some of that money will go into the cryptocurrency space. Think, where would it go, right? That's where you start to think and then kind of position yourself to be able to get exposed.
I want to know what the chat thinks. Do you think China gets behind crypto this year? Do you think that they reverse their stance? Put a 1 in the chat if you think China enters the ring on cryptocurrency, on mining. Remember, at the end of the last bull market, they kicked out all the miners from China. They tried to. There's still some there. A lot of them relocated to the U.S. But what do you think? Stance, China. 1 for they're going to reverse, be pro crypto. Put a 2 in the chat. You think China is going to hold steady in their current position where Bitcoin mining is banned and crypto in general is banned? I want to know where you guys think. Would love to get some numbers in the chat. Lots of chat helps out our reach and promotes our channel. So if you haven't voted, please, 1 or 2.
Jesper said no. You know what? Jesper said no, but I'm going to say yes.
One for yes, 2 for no.
I'm not going to say yes to your question. I'm going to say yes to our channel sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Legacy Network. Their Legacy Academy app is live on both Apple and Google. If you have the app, do us a favor, write a review on the App Store. And if you don't have the app yet, I highly recommend you go download it. Hearing rumors that there will be some sort of airdrop that will potentially make you a lot of money. No guarantees. Not saying it's financial advice, but if you haven't done so, download the app. It's absolutely amazing. So big thank you to Legacy Network.
Yeah, guys, go out there, use it, and get rewarded.
We talk with these guys quite often, and we're here for you. We do the show for you. Even when we chop sideways for 7 months, we still stream every single weekday. And any way that we can find to help you guys watching our community make money, that is what we're doing, and that is what we're going to continue to do. With that being said, let's take a look at the rest of the markets. I know we took a look at Bitcoin already. Let's take a look at the top 10, and maybe could we see a project from 10 to 15 hop into the top 10? Let's
all right. So Ethereum still at $2,500. I think this is for risk reward for a top project. I think look no further than Ethereum. You know, it was right at about $3,400 just about a month ago. So 34.65. almost at $3,500, $1,000 off where it is now. The fundamentals haven't changed. There's been a slowdown in competitors as well. Solana's slowed down. So I don't look at Ethereum's competition as, hey, everyone's leaving Ethereum and going elsewhere because Solana's slowed. I mean, who's the biggest competitor to Ethereum right now outside of Solana?
Outside of Solana?
Yeah, see, it took too long to answer. There it is. There's no competition. So the fundamentals are here. The community is here. It's still the #1 platform for smart contracts. They have the ETF, which is gaining steam. I think that we're going to see a large influx of money coming into the ETF. And so massive discount for where we're at, for where we were a month ago and where I am projecting. I do think that we'll get to $8,000, $9,000, maybe even $10,000 Ethereum by the end of the year. And what a nice come up on a project that you can feel comfortable the long-term hold, even regardless of what price action does. Now,
how could anyone fade Ethereum?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's right now, Ethereum is so much sexier than Bitcoin for me in this, say, the next 6-month range. Like, what do you think is going to generate you more returns in the next 6 months, Ethereum or Bitcoin?
Ethereum.
Yeah, I believe so. And if you got the balls to buy and sell for a 6-month hold and just leave it there on a long-term swing trade, I think Ethereum is
going to be such a bad joke.
I think Ethereum is where it's at. Also, XRP, right at that 60-cent mark, it had the court case.
Do you think people are hesitant because of a potential appeal?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a lack of a lack of retail interest and the fact that.
But isn't XRP supposed to be? And I'm playing devil's advocate here, right? So isn't XRP supposed to be like institutions are using it?
Yeah, but institutions take a long time. And so partnerships,
partnerships
need to go through negotiations. They need to get.
They've been around for 11 years.
Yeah, but no big names have been sitting down at the table while that court case was still ongoing. And so I think that those deals are now back on the table. I think that they are sitting down with banks and companies. And so I think that in the next 6 months, it's going to shape up pretty well for XRP. I still would rather hold Ethereum than XRP.
I was going to ask you, so which one would bring you more returns? Ethereum, XRP?
I think that there's obviously more upside potential for XRP. So if you're looking to
what time frame though?
On a 6 month, I think right now I'm kind of evaluating this bull market on a 6 month. I think
so. You would rather You would rather hold XRP than Ethereum over the next 6 months?
No, I was saying the exact opposite. I was saying that if you're looking for a big upside return, if you're looking to kind of hit a nice little home run, I think that XRP has a good likelihood to outperform Ethereum, but I don't feel comfortable taking that trade compared to Ethereum.
Because you think the risk is too high?
I think that put it this way.
I'm hearing two messages.
There's a 50-50 chance in my perspective that XRP, say, gets to $3.50 or it stays under $1.
In 6 months?
Yeah.
You're high.
And so that's how I look at it. I look at it like there's a big potential for upside.
$3.
I think that a 7x from where it is now. Now, is Ethereum going to 7x? No. Will Ethereum 3x? Absolutely. I think that that's in the table, but I don't know. At the same time, I think that we could be sitting here having a conversation, be like, man, XRP is still under $1. Like, what the hell is going on?
I think that's more likely.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm on both sides of the fence. So for me, I want to go with more locked in, guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, but I'd more assured with the 6 month hold on Ethereum versus XRP. But if you are looking to swing for the fences, I wouldn't fault you for taking a position on XRP on a 6 month hold. Also,
before you move on, I want to know what the chat thinks. 6 months holding Ethereum or XRP. Put a 1 for Ethereum.
6 month hold. 1 Ethereum, 2 XRP. Let's see what the chat thinks. Or if you want to use our emojis.
I know Jimmy just gifted 20 memberships, so there should be some new members in here. We do have XRP and the Ethereum emoji.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to soon come out with an almanac emoji. Oh. If we had the almanac, we'd be able to really reference it now.
Absolutely. All right. So
I cannot believe I'm warming up to that.
Outside of the top 10, you got Cardano, right? Cardano has fallen out of the top 10.
Got a lot of people saying Cardano's not going to go back in the top 10, Robin. What do you say to those people?
I believe that. I think that it absolutely flips Tron. I think that it'll flip ton coin once the retail kind of euphoria subsides. I think that ton coin has ran pretty hot and heavy lately. I think it's going to take a little backseat. I think it's going to cool down. It's going to consolidate. And so Cardano will move up. It'll pass Tron. It'll pass ton coin. Will it pass Doge? That I'm not sure. I cannot dismiss retail's interest in Doge.
You know what's interesting,
especially
Robin?
with Elon Musk.
Okay, I'm so happy you mentioned that, okay? So yesterday, there's this meme going around of Elon Musk standing at a podium. You know, he did the spaces with Donald Trump. And he said, if you have a government efficiency board that tracks how government spends money, I would be more than happy to serve on that. So what did people come up with? Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, Doge, right? Posted that, Elon reposted that, and Doge did not move.
That's what you're going with?
And
you're
I'm
going with acronyms?
It was a meme on Twitter. And this is what people ran with. Now, the reason I'm even bringing it up because
and also the name Elon stands for Ethereum long on
nitrogen. But my point is, you brought up the Elon effect, and I'm tying this all back, and he did that, and normally people would expect the price of Doge to pump, I don't know, 10%, 12%. It's still at 10 cents. It's up 3% over the last 24 hours. So is the Elon effect wearing off?
Everything wears off, right? All your big
so
here's the thing.
Yes.
You know, here's the thing. Like, you onboard one Fortune 500 company, they say they're going to buy Bitcoin. It's like mass euphoria. Then the second company comes in, the third company, the fourth company. By company number 5 and 8, it's no longer a big headline, right? And so it's the same with bullish tweets by a personality. And so as Elon becomes more and more vocal, or as he keeps being more vocal on Doge, as these tweets keep coming out and his support for Doge keeps coming out, you're going to have less and less of an effect on the market. And so can't discount his platform, though, with X and it being the everything app and including finance and possibly crypto and Dogecoin. And you can sit here, put a tweet out all day. You can hype something up all day. But if you're, hundreds of millions of X users are now using their payments, if they're now moving crypto and Doge is front and center, that's going to absolutely moon the price, right? I mean, it has to, right? And so, I don't know. Elon effect is still here. I just think it is diminishing returns. I do think that with the X platform, it has a big potential to really send this thing to the next level. Also, big shout out to Jimmy. We had 20 gifted memberships, as you mentioned. So if you are a recipient of Jimmy's new membership, give my man a thanks. Put a thanks in the chat.
I'm looking at coins 11 through 15. Okay, you got Cardano at 11, Avalanche, SHIB, Polkadot, Bitcoin Cash. Let's take Bitcoin Cash and SHIB out of this conversation. Okay. If one of those three, Cardano, Avalanche, and Polkadot, if you had to put your money in
Cardano,
but I didn't even finish, in the next month.
It doesn't matter. I don't even care about the time frame. Honestly,
if you're trying to maximize your gains for the next 3 months.
Cardano, 100%. I just Avalanche, their Web3 and gaming, very appealing, very successful.
Off the Grid has been very successful. First console game running on Avalanche subnet.
But it's
partnership with AWS.
It's not enough, though. It's not enough. I'm sorry, it's not enough, man. It's bullish. I am bullish on it, but
what about Polkadot? It's under $5. Got up to
answer your own question.
Why?
Answer your own question.
Answer it first, and then
I already told you Cardano even before you finished the question.
Cardano.
Okay. Then why are you arguing with me?
I'm trying. The point here is to give a different.
Rocco, am I right or what?
Okay, I can also make an argument for an Avalanche. I cannot make an argument for Polkadot. What would be your argument for Polkadot? Would you have one? Is this a project that you're completely fading for the rest of the cycle?
No, I don't.
Like, what's your realistic returns you can get on Polkadot?
Okay,
from $4?
I don't have any hate towards Cardano. I mean, to Polkadot. I got no hate. No, there's no hate coming from Big Rob to Polkadot to the community. I just look at it from interest in the community. What are people talking about? Where are the headlines? Where are the dApp developers? Where's the bullish momentum going? And you know what? I think it's squarely on the shoulders of Cardano. Now, we can simply look at the chart and say, hey, you know what? It's still at 30 cents. Polkadot, really, it hasn't broken out against Avalanche and Polkadot. So you can look at the charts and say, like, Rob, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Rob, what are you talking
about? Cardano is not making tons of progress as far as price. But man, I'm telling you what they're building on Cardano. Maybe I'm just blinded because I went to the Rare Evo, Cardano, the Cardano focused convention. There were other projects there, but honestly, it was very Cardano centric. And there's a lot going on there. And the talks of ghost chain, then stop it. And so I don't know. I'm very, very bullish on Cardano's future, and so that's where I lay. And nothing against the other projects, but if I had to pick one, that's where I'm going, man.
Okay,
that's where I'm going.
It is still my view that Solana is the fastest horse in crypto, says CEO of crypto hedge fund Asymmetric. Should be interesting. Joe McCann, the founder, CEO, and CIO of the crypto hedge fund Asymmetric, sat down with Anthony Scaramucci. McCann expressed his strong conviction in Solana, which he believes is the fastest blockchain and has the potential to outperform Ethereum. He drew a parallel between the early smartphone wars between BlackBerry and iPhone and the current competition between Ethereum and Solana, arguing that Solana's modern parallel processing architecture is far superior to Ethereum's more dated single-threaded design. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that Ethereum is BlackBerry, Solana is iPhone? What would that make Cardano? That make Cardano Google? Would that make Cardano, I don't know, IBM, Microsoft, something that, I don't know. I'm just throwing some names out there. Well, what are your thoughts here?
I think that the tech online industry has very particular verticals that Google, Amazon, and the like, and iPhone and Samsung. I think that they have very particular client bases that they cater to, and they don't expand very far outside of that. I think that when you get into crypto, I think that the horizon and the market that crypto influences is so much broader than the narrow fields that is iPhone and Samsung. And so for me, if I was going to compare, say, Solana, Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I think that I would look more rather to the financial companies that we're accustomed to the UBS, to the Bank of America, the JP Morgans. I think that you can't simply say, hey, isn't JP Morgan Chase, aren't they that much better than BlackRock? Isn't UBS like so much of a better company or an investment than Berkshire Hathaway? And so for me, I just look at it as like, what are these giant financial companies? What is their worth? And are they at each other's throats? No. They have their own client base. They have their own users. They have their own customers. They have their own products. Each one of them varies slightly. Doesn't that sound pretty damn similar to crypto? Hey, we got our own product. We got our own community. We have our own customers. There's wealth locked up here. There's a ton of total value within this company. And it's not like one person saying, like, you know what? Sell all of your Bank of America and go to JP Morgan. No. You got JP Morgan, you got in on it early, good for you. You got in on Bank of America, you got in early, good for you. That's how I look at this industry. And so you got a massive, massive financial piece of the pie in crypto. And that pie is going to get sliced up. Now, is there going to be a front runner or a winner? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that, you can make an argument that for asset managers, BlackRock is king, but Bridgewater Associates, is that a loss if you're in there? Number 2? No. Is Skybridge Capital with Anthony Scaramucci? Are you dumb money for being there? No. And so that's how I look at this industry. So this whole like tribalism that we have where you gotta be Samsung or iPhone, I need a green or blue text, like stop it.
I need blue text.
And so if you think that, oh my God, I invested in Solana and I missed out on Ethereum, I'm so stupid. No, I look at it completely different. Hey, you're going to win either way. So just stop moving your money around too much and taking on too much risk. Make your decisions. Stick with it. Unless a project starts to really tank as far as sentiment, right? Don't marry Litecoin right now. Community is falling. DApps are falling. You know, the transactions are falling to the wayside. So, you know, outside of a chain that you know is on the way out, I would say that, like, hey, you know what? Like,
You know,
calm your horses.
I asked my best friend, ChatGPT. I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, how are you?" He said, "We're good." Said, "Ethereum is like BlackBerry. Solana is like iPhone. What is Cardano like?" To which the response was, Cardano could be compared to Tesla in the sense that it is pioneering, innovative, and methodical. Like Tesla, Cardano is focused on long-term goals, prioritizing research, sustainability, and scalability. It approaches blockchain development with a scientific, slow but steady mindset, positioning itself as a project that could reshape the future through carefully calculated steps. Do you agree with my friend, ChatGPT?
You know, I wouldn't say I agree, but it's very interesting. I really like that. I really do. I think that was
And look,
that was
Tesla took some time, but look at Tesla now, the #1 EV car maker in the entire world. I do want to give a big thank you to our other channel sponsor today, which is Seed Hunter. Seed Hunter allows you, the retail investor, to invest money in projects like the venture capitalists do, or if you're watching and you have a platform yourself, if you're a influencer or content creator, you can also link up with Web3 projects that are looking for marketing. All you got to do is create an account. Use the link in the description of this video. So big thank you to Seed Hunter for sponsoring.
I also asked ChatGPT something. I said, ChatGPT, how do I stop my co-host from making dad jokes? Dealing with a co-host who frequently makes dad jokes can be tricky, especially if it affects the tone or flow of your show. Here are a few strategies you could consider. Set clear guidelines. Have a friendly conversation
No jokes.
with your co-host about the style, tone that you want to maintain for your show. You can agree when humor is appropriate and when it may detract from the content. Got anything to say? No? All right. There was other numbers there. We'll have an internal discussion with that one. But
we have our Caitlin Long interview hitting the YouTube. In about 1 hour, I sat down with Caitlin for about 15-20 minutes. We talked about a lot of things, how this could potentially be the Bitcoin election, and some of her insight that she has to what is going on behind the scenes. Are they going to get a Fed master account, and what are some of the exciting things the custodian is looking to do moving forward? So catch that in about 1 hour. Also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, ping your notifications on, because you never know what kind of content we're going to drop. And with that being said, Rocco, today's a two-finger tornado.
wow.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you had a great time. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Sin City Crypto community. We love you all. Thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow, my friend.
Also, big shout out to Rocco behind the ones and twos on our couple interviews that we did. If you like the Charles Hoskinson interview and the Caitlin Long one coming up, we don't give enough thanks to Rocco there, but the wizard behind.
Because I don't
The
make.
man have his moment, man. You know.
He never lets me have my moment called karma.
Yeah, but your jokes. That's enough.
Yeah, and you make fun of him all the time. Whatever. Roll the freeze credit.
Buy dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon, then to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.